Hey everyone, welcome to the speed build. This is another limited pack build, and one of the packs that I had was Snowy Escape. So I built this one in Mount Komorebi. I basically never ever build there. It's not an architecture style that I'm very familiar with. Cold climate stuff is very outside my wheelhouse. So this is quite a fun build just to sort of try and explore and see if I could make something that sort of blended in a little bit with the existing sort of shells and the existing houses that were already in the world. I built this one for two sort of university students. So it ends up being two very small bedrooms plus one bath. And then I've turned the sort of fake garage on the side there into a gym because one of the packs that I also had was the fitness stuff or whatever that one's called, but with all like the gym equipment and stuff. So I wanted to make sure that we used it all. And so with the roofs, like I said, I tried to find a shape that sort of blended in with a lot of the shells around the place. So doing one with sort of the misaligned peaks, the very steep roof in sort of on the garage and the little walkway. Then obviously I did use platforms for a bit of it. If it was like in real life and it was a climate where it snowed all the time, you probably wouldn't have flat platform roofs everywhere because the snow would just pile up. But luckily we don't have to deal with that in The Sims. So I was able to use it and I thought it turned out quite nice. I think we end up doing, I'm not sure if we keep the green roof, but at first I was going to go sort of very black and white. We end up doing a lot of neutral colors, so a lot of grays, and I think we end up doing mostly white rather than black accents all around the place. We end up doing sort of white windows and that kind of thing. And so I think we do go back and maybe change, if not the roof color, definitely the roof color trim. I think it becomes white. And again, because this one's in Snowy Escape, I used a lot of the outside sort of the wallpapers, the landscaping later on is from the Snowy Escape pack because I feel like it blends in best with the world because that's what the world is. It's all the Snowy Escape stuff. And just swapping out the bottom of the house to be sort of that brick in some places. I was trying to make with that particular wallpaper with the sort of the white section for the garage or the fake garage. It kind of makes it look a bit like a garage door, I thought. Obviously, you don't have garages in The Sims. We don't have cars or anything like that. So I didn't bother making it an actual door. There is like one from Snowy Escape you can use. I think it's for medium wall height. And if you put it on a small wall height door, it takes up obviously the entire thing. But I didn't end up doing that. I think I just had a sliding door in somewhere. And then I popped the stairs in there. It's not a very big house at all, but your Sims can walk under those stairs and get through. I think, yeah, there's me testing that out just to make sure that you could, so that they didn't have to go in and outside the sliding door that we add in and the front door just to get around the house. But as you can see here, I'm trying to add in the two little tiny bedrooms. Like I said, it's for two university students, so I think you can get away with the slightly smaller bedrooms. In my mind, this would be kind of like if they were renting, not obviously not living in dorms, but sort of renting like a little house for the two of them. It doesn't need to be very big, not a lot of space, and it kind of also explains the very neutral palette. I think if you're renting to people, if it's university students, you're kind of renting to them on a yearly basis. You wouldn't be letting them paint the walls or anything like that. I think I do a bit of color in the bedrooms just for a little bit of personality, but the rest of the house is basically sort of all white and sort of neutral wood. I've added just some little windows there onto that wall just to make it look a little bit more like a fake garage door. And then just going through and adding a whole bunch of windows. I basically use them all from Snowy Escape just because I could. I think I love the Snowy Escape build stuff. I rarely use it though because I'm so unfamiliar with cold weather climates. It's very foreign to me. So this was definitely a fun exercise in trying to work out what on earth I was doing. And you'll see me, I struggle a fair bit with the landscaping because to me, like, if it's a place where it snows, it's just not green and there's nothing there. But obviously there is greenery. There's the greenery all around the world now. But in my mind, like, I just can't picture it. So we get there in the end though. And now just going through and adding a bit of more sort of those white accents everywhere. Like I said, it's end up being like a very soft and neutral palette all throughout. Particularly, I think the Snowy Escape stuff really lends itself well, that kind of like Japan-y style almost. which I love. And then just adding in some more windows into the little garage bit. Don't know if they're 100% the best windows, but there's a lot of sort of horizontal lines all throughout this place. So I didn't want to do too many sort of like round windows or soft things like that. It wouldn't flow with the rest of the house. So now we're decorating the little bathroom, trying to work out. I wanted it to be sort of neutral, but not boring. So I think, yeah, I ended up using that one with like a bit of a blue green color palette. And then I think we add in a couple of little accents. One of the packs we had, I think, was the bathroom clutter stuff. So we were able to add in, some little towels and things like that just to try and get a little bit more personality and color all throughout. And then because we've got the Discover University pack, we can have the little walk-in showers, so it takes up a little bit less space. And then just trying to, I think, yeah, like I said, originally I was going to go for black accents. I'm not sure if we leave the sink that color. Maybe we do, but there's just a couple of black accents, but mostly we end up going a lot of white and wood all throughout, which I think turns out quite nice. Like I said, got the fitness pack and the bathroom clutter, so we're just adding in a couple little tiny things just to make it look like people actually live there and it's not, a hotel or something. But really, you can't add a lot into this bathroom. I don't even think we add a plant. We've just got shower, toilet, sink, done. That's all you need. That's all you get. So I think at this point, yeah, I'm just trying to work out if I can fit anything that's like flat on the wall. I don't even think we end up doing that. There's just not enough space. So now we're trying to work out what the rest of the place is going to look like. As I said, I added a bit of color in the bedroom just to make it a bit more fun, a bit of personality kind of coming through. But the rest of the house is very, very neutral, which I think works pretty well. And then I absolutely adore that wallpaper from Snowy Escape, so I was really pleased to be able to use it. I just think it's so pretty. I love all the build. Like I said, I've said it a million times, but I love all the build items from Snowy Escape. It's so nice. So we end up using the Snowy Escape kitchen stuff as well, I'm pretty sure. Just got a little half wall there to sort of separate the entrance away from the kitchen. Very, very small kitchen in the end. You can get away with it. Like I said, if they were actually uni students, you're probably not doing a lot of cooking when you're a uni student. You kind of live off instant meals and sort of the bare necessities. So I think you can get away with it. It ends up being a starter home as well. So you can get away with sort of having much less stuff. Originally, I was going to do just sort of the island here with the two bar stools. I do add in a tiny little dining table later, but you could always delete it if you wanted to add in something else. Like I said, remembering to put in a sink, you got a full-size fridge, you got the full-size oven and stove. You don't really need anything else in the kitchen, and you can't fit anything else in the kitchen. So then just using the beds from Discover University, just single beds because the rooms are so, so small, and then trying to work out how to fit a lounge room into the remaining space. I think I start off with it one way and then switch it around, but the footprint stays much the same. And added a desk downstairs. And I think we end up adding a computer on that desk just because it's such a nice thing to have. And I couldn't fit a desk upstairs. And then I end up using, instead of a dresser or anything, I end up using that onsen locker for one of the bedrooms. I just think it looks really nice. And it worked really well in that tiny little space. I had just a single tile. I was like, what can I put here? I put that. And then so we added the bookshelf downstairs, matching the desk, which I think, again, is very realistic if it was university students. All your stuff comes basically from IKEA or something like that, unless it's a hand-me-down or you've got it, secondhand from someone that just moved out. Again, adding in the cheap computer, it's such a nice thing to have, particularly if you are doing the university, storyline. Your Sims being able to study on the computer is so handy without having to go to the library. And then, as I said, turning the garage into the gym because one of the packs I had was that fitness stuff pack. So I really wanted to make sure that we use that. And for this storyline, for these Sims that are standing outside, one of them's going to be, like a PE teacher or a physical, active career sort of thing. So I wanted to make sure that we had that stuff. And then I really wanted to use that poster somewhere. I couldn't. I ended up using that one. I think it looks all right. And I added in a fair bit of sort of posters and things like that around the place. I think I end up going back and deleting a couple of the ones that I'm adding here, because I needed a bit of extra budget. But for the most part, we get some nice ones. So just adding a couple of the actual posters, just because if you, I don't know your university lives, but everyone I knew that went to university and had their little room that had so much stuff on the walls. And then I was able to add in the easel, just tucked it right into that little corner if you shuffle the door along. So I was pleased about that because, again, just another skill building thing. It's really handy to have if you're heading off to university, and especially if you've just created the Sims to go to university and they don't have any skills. It's really nice to be able to build them up quickly. Like I said, we added in a tiny little dining table, just the 2 chairs. Although if you did have other Sims over, there's those 2 dining table chairs plus the bar stools that they can sit on. So it works out all right. Plus the lounge if they get desperate. And then just trying to find a nice rug that I could fit that would fit into that space without sort of clipping outside. I think, yeah, I end up using the round one. It's not the best rug, but it works well enough. I was hoping for something, a bit more colorful, but I couldn't find anything that wouldn't clash with the purple bed and green walls, which is probably not the best choice, but oh well. And then just adding a couple little bits of clutter. Like I said, because it's a starter home, I didn't have a lot of money left over. And I think, yeah, I think that's where we end up leaving, just basically that. And then I just chuck a plant in. If there's a random corner and you don't know what else to put there, put a plant. So that's what I've done. And now we're just trying to go through and work out if there's anything else I can put inside or outside. Again, like I said, changing the trim to have the white accent rather than the black accent because the rest of the house was so white. And the black trim just stood out way too much. And then I remembered that I didn't have a bin, so I had to add a bin. And then I'm realizing how little money I actually have. I really, really wanted the telescope for that logic skill. For me, it was so worth it. Swapping the mailbox to the one on the wall, again, because it's a Snow Escape one, I just think it works well. There I'm deleting some of the posters, trying to get a little bit of money back, and deleting that whole table, which was originally from the fitness stuff pack, just so I could have 2 bins. Completely unnecessary to have 2 of them, but I really like how it looks with the 2 of them. And then just trying to find something that I could fit in the whole section here that didn't take up a lot of space and did not cost a lot of money. So we end up with just a little whole table. Yeah, I think we end up sticking with this one and maybe chucking a mirror above it or something. Nothing fancy at all, but nice to have. Oh no, that's what I end up using. Yeah, the coat rack that's the skis. I love that piece of furniture. It's so cute. And then just adding some very, very tiny bits of clutter. I couldn't add too much. You can use the island bench tops as benches, but I also wanted them to be able to use the actual bench top, which we just have that corner unit. So I couldn't add too much stuff. And then I think this is where I end up actually moving the lounge room around because that wall just looks so empty as it was. But I couldn't really afford to put anything on it. So I moved the TV to be on that wall. And just sort of tucked things around and went, yep, cool. As I said, the furniture is very basic, but realistic to me. Now we're just making sure that the kitchen's functional and that the bathroom is functional with that little, I've added that sort of little bit of clutter on the side of the shower there. And they're just kind of working through. And then I'm just making sure that she can also use the painting. And I'm realizing the painting costs $50 and I don't have $50 really. So I add it back on. I get my $50 back even though the painting's there. And now we're looking at landscaping as though we've only got 80 simoleons left. So we are using a lot of debug. And I struggled so much with this landscaping just because even though there's the greenery all around the world, it just, in my mind, like somewhere that's cold just doesn't have beautiful lush greenery, even though like very clearly it does. It's just so unfamiliar to me. So I basically end up using that flowery bush with the tiny blue flowers basically everywhere. And then just trying to add some trees just to get a bit of height, a bit of, something interesting. And yeah, it's not the world's most exciting landscaping. I think it works. I think it looks nice. I'm not 100% sure how much I actually end up doing, but I think it's very sparse landscaping. It certainly doesn't, for me, like because the lot itself is that sort of sandy soil, to me, it says that you wouldn't be able to grow a lot on there. Obviously, in The Sims, it doesn't actually matter what the terrain looks like. You just grow everything everywhere. You go in garden pots anyway, or you buy the dirt for it. But I tried to stick to sort of a very muted palette. Again, it's just a lot of blues and just sort of the same sort of plants repeated rather than mixing in a whole bunch of different things. At the moment, I'm just kind of going through and working out what on earth I could add in that didn't look out of place. Basically, everything to me just looks so odd. And that's a completely a me thing as to why it looks odd. Like, obviously, the landscaping is fine. There's landscaping all around the world and it all looks good. I don't know, mine looks good. But like I said, it was such a struggle for me. I really wanted to use some of the stuff like on the walls. But again, to me, that just speaks to a lusher climate, a warmer climate. So I didn't end up using basically anything. I think I ended up chucking like a tree in the backyard or something. Just to fill in the space, but I basically don't do anything. And then some of my platforms and like the edging is a bit messed up. There's that one bit in the roof that's like missing a tile, and I couldn't figure it out. And I did my best to try and fix it, but it just wouldn't fix itself. So I'm hoping it's just a weird glitch and it won't turn up for anybody else. Now we're just kind of adding, again, like I said, just adding some trees and some ground cover around the place just to make it look a little less empty, a little more lived in without going overboard. And I think we used, our last 80 simoleons on 2 chairs. So you can sit out there and watch someone use a telescope if you really wanted to. But I think it turned out really nice. I'm trying to work out what on earth else I must have done to finish this off. I think it must just be me scrambling around trying to work out what else I can do landscaping wise, because it just looks so empty. And I think what threw me off really was the terrain paint being that really sandy. It's so bright. It just looks so obvious that there's nothing there. And of course, you can't match that terrain paint. So I think I end up sticking like some fake rocks around the place or some grass. Yeah. Okay. I tried to sort of blend it in as if it was like that sort of mossy green that they have around the place. Also with the leaving the sort of sandy dirt bit as if that's where everyone was walking all the time. I don't know how well it turned out, but and then I was trying to match to that sort of footpath that you have in the world. Can't match it exactly, of course. That's a really annoying thing about this as well. So often they don't give us everything. But I did my best. And then I'm just trying to go through and soften up the green a little bit with some more of the dirt. Again, it's not the exact same sort of sandy soil that they have originally on the lot, but if you don't look too closely, it just kind of looks like rocky, like the grass is kind of growing around the place. But you can see I bulldozed this one and built it here in Snowy Escape. So let's go have a little look. This is what it looks like from the outside. As you can see, very, very, very basic landscaping. We've got our 2 chairs and our telescope. We've got 1 tree here, some trees back here. The bin's tucked away in this little bit here with the sliding door so you can come out of the garage area. And if we go in there, very basic. Again, if it was, you'd probably maybe add in like a radio or something if you had the extra funds, but we've just got the treadmill and the weight machine and that's all we have. But if we come back here, we've got a little mailbox. I forgot to add an outside light, ignore that. We come in, we've got a little hall table, coat rack, bookshelf here, and again those stairs that head down that little hallway to the gym. And then we've got our little bathroom, just a shower, toilet, sink, mirror. Very, very basic, but workable. And then that little desk nook here with a computer, which again, a very nice thing to have, particularly if you are going to use this for university students. And then we come in here, we've got our kitchen. There's our grilled cheese that we've made, just a test kitchen, but full-size fridge, full-size oven. I think we've got seating at the island as well as a little tiny dining table. Got just a very basic little TV and lounge area. And then if we head upstairs, we have a plant. And then the first bedroom, we've got just a single bed, that little, again, like I said, the little onsen locker as a sort of pretend dresser, and an easel tucked away in the corner. And then we've got an actual dresser in the second bedroom with basically just the single bed and a bedside table. You could probably, if you had extra money, you could probably add, another skill building item in there if you wanted to. I did not have any more money, so we did not. But yeah, it's just a little one. It's just built on a 20 by 15, so it couldn't be a very big house, but I think it turned out really nice. So if we share this onto the gallery, we can see I've just called it Snowy Student Starter, build a starter home for 2 students. It's 2 bed, 1 bath, just costs just over 21,000. And we end up using just the Snowy Escape Discover University get together packs, as well as fitness stuff and bathroom clutter. So just like I said, very limited packs and nice and cheap if you did need to get a starter home for any reason. Thanks for watching. Bye.